Mozzarella. Soft, mild, melty. It's the cheese we toss over salads, layer on pizzas, and pull apart in stretchy satisfaction. But what if I told you that mozzarella isn't one cheese, it's two? Two different creations with the same name, same technique, but two separate identities. One is centuries old, shaped by tradition and time. The other is built for speed, efficiency, and scale. And here's the part that matters. One is quietly pushing the other toward extinction. So how does this happen? What really separates them? To understand this divide, we have to go back to the source, the beginning. Mozzarella was born in southern Italy, made with the rich, fatty milk of water buffalo grazing on the volcanic pastures of Campania. It's a living cheese, shaped by microbes, temperature, and the hands of experienced artisans, used to create Mozzarella di Bufala Campania, the original mozzarella. Inside family-run dairies, they warm the raw or lightly pasteurized buffalo milk. Then they gently add natural enzymes to coax it into curds, soft, tender chunks of protein that begin to transform from liquid to solid. This is where the magic begins, a process called pasta filata, or spun paste. It's the heart of mozzarella. The curds are placed in hot water, then kneaded, stretched, folded by hand, judged entirely by feel. The cheesemaker knows the moment it's right. They twist it into braids, balls, or knots, still steaming, and lure it into brine, where it rests and soaks in its final flavor. The result? A pillowy, delicate cheese that weeps when cut and sings with tang, cream, and grass. But there's a catch. This mozzarella is fragile. It must be eaten within 2 to 3 days, and it doesn't travel well. It's expensive to make and store, and for a global food system built on shipping and scalability, that's a problem. So how do we make mozzarella that lasts weeks and melts perfectly on every pizza? You guessed it, industrial mozzarella. It uses the same stretching technique, pasta filata. But instead of water buffalo milk, it is made almost exclusively with cow's milk. Easier to find, cheaper, more consistent. In modern cheese plants, curds are formed by machines, stretched by rollers, and cut by wires. There are no hands, no decisions made by feel. Often additives are used to improve melting, shelf life, and consistency. The final product is cooled, vacuum sealed, and shipped across continents. And when melted, it performs beautifully. It's golden, stretchy, reliable. It even browns in the oven just right. So why did this shift happen? The truth is, traditional mozzarella is wildly impractical in a global food system. It spoils quickly, it's expensive to make, it's deeply tied to a place, to buffalo that produce less milk and need more care. In an industry built for scale and shelf life, factory mozzarella makes sense. It meets the demands of pizza chains, supermarkets, and supply chains. Two worlds, two philosophies. On the surface, the two mozzarellas look the same. But if you taste them side by side, that's where the illusion shatters. With the same pasta filata technique at the core, the ancient tradition hasn't disappeared. It's been scaled. But if the process is similar, then what really separates the two mozzarellas? Let's break it down. First, the milk. Traditional mozzarella, especially Mozzarella di Bufala Campania, uses buffalo milk, which is higher in fat and protein than cow's milk. That extra richness gives the cheese its luscious texture and slightly tangy flavor. Even Fior di Latte, a cow's milk version also made in Campania, uses full-fat milk and mimics the same creamy qualities. In contrast, factory mozzarella uses industrially sourced cow's milk, optimized not for taste, but yield and reliability. The difference in the milk means everything downstream behaves differently, affecting texture, to melt, to shelf life. Then comes the stretching. In Campania, cheesemakers stretch curd by hand. They feel it, adjust by instinct. They don't measure, they listen to the cheese. In factories, curd is processed at high volume with mechanical rollers and steam. The technique is the same in theory, but the spirit is different. One is intimate, the other industrial. And finally, moisture. Traditional mozzarella has over 52% water. That's what makes it tender, delicate, and impossible to shred. It's why it doesn't melt smoothly. It collapses, folds into warm softness, but it also means it spoils fast. By comparison, factory mozzarella is dried to just under 50% moisture, firm enough to shred, package, and last for weeks. It's the reason it dominates our plates. Not because it tastes better, but because it survives better. So, where does that leave us? Is one better than the other? Maybe that's the wrong question. That depends on what you're looking for. But here's the real shock. Most people don't know what they're eating. And even fewer know that real mozzarella comes from buffalo. So, now you know. Mozzarella isn't just a cheese. It's a lens into how modern food has changed. At one end, you have a living tradition. Cheese made with hands that learned from their grandfathers. A tradition that is quietly disappearing as there are fewer artisans, fewer buffalo, and fewer people even noticing. At the other, you have innovation. A cheese engineered to meet global demand, perform predictably, and stretch like a dream. Both of these cheeses exist because of the same method, but they've evolved in opposite directions. And in that contrast, we see something bigger. A map of how culture, taste, and technology split paths over time. Next time you enjoy a caprese salad or sink your teeth into a slice of hot, melty pizza, take a moment. That cheese on your plate, it's more than delicious. It's a story, a journey, stretching from ancient Italy to today's dinner table. But there's one final piece, the thing that ties it all together: buffalo milk. This rich, luxurious ingredient is what gives the original mozzarella its soul. And yet, as fewer farmers can afford to raise buffalo, due to cost, low yield, and industry pressure, it's disappearing. Quietly, slowly, almost without notice. And that's the real loss. Not just a flavor, but a way of life. A rhythm of making. A cheese that connects us not just to Italy, but to the people, the land, the animals that made it possible. In our next deep dive, we'll explore why buffalo milk is so unique, how it's farmed, and why it could be the key to making the world's best cheese. And in the meantime, leave a comment below. Have you ever tasted real buffalo mozzarella? And what's your favorite way to enjoy mozzarella? Fresh and delicate, or hot and stretchy?